If you got a Chevy truck with a starter switch that's bad or you think it's bad, here's how to test them.
All right, we got a cat eye right here, Chevrolet. All right, so I got this thing all taken apart now. So if you turn the key and it doesn't start, we're gonna start at the steering wheel up here. So we're gonna go right down here. Under here, the starter switch goes right up in there. I got it right here and I got it apart. So I'm taking a look at it. It's got these copper contactors in here, and then it's got these ones on this side, and it turns this little wheel right here when you turn it all the way over, and that's what engages the starter and starts it.
So they're real easy to test. It's just some copper fingers, you know, they move up and down when you turn the key, make contact. Kind of reminds me of a point and condenser type system. You know, sometimes you can get in there with some sandpaper and get it cleaned out, but if you want to just swap them out, you can swap them out.
So it's like electrical chain here. Start at the steering wheel, come up to the fuse box, and then down to the starter. So one of those things is gonna be bad, and that's why when you turn the key, it doesn't start. So the problem we're talking about right here is you go and turn the key like that, and it doesn't start. So the dash will light up, turn the key, and it doesn't start. No matter what you do, it won't start. You know, it won't click over, won't click at all, really won't click. You got a problem. We gotta diagnose it, trace it back, find it out.
So these are easy to test. Get in there with the multimeter, hook it up, turn the cog wheel. If it beeps, beep, then you know it's good. If not, you gotta get a new one or get this one cleaned up.
So it's this top little copper finger right there, the one that's sticking up right there, and then it goes down to this very bottom pin down in there, and when you turn the key, it's what makes contact. So I've been testing it here. I got it set up, and we're gonna turn this little cog wheel here, and we're gonna see, yep, we got continuity between the little finger and that pin. So, you know, when we turn it, it closes the contact just like that, see? Very difficult to do by hand, but that's what it's doing when it turns the key, see it? Touches that little finger right there to the pin, and it closes the contact. This is good, it's not bad. So if you got a really old one, I replaced this not long ago, but they get burned up under here. You can get in there with a little piece of sandpaper underneath there, get the contacts cleaned up.
So I know y'all are gonna say they're cheap, swap them out, right? What's the point of all this? So you wanna make sure the fuses are good, the relays are good, the starter switch is good. You know, I don't like throwing parts at things. I know y'all don't either. So this is how you diagnose them, to test them and check them. If you just swap it out, it may or may not work, right?
All right, so here's another switch I got a part right here. So do not lose these. If you press in on these, they will fly out and that little spring will get lost. So be careful of that. We're gonna take a look at the whole thing right here. So this is the off position right here. All the little fingers are up. They're not making contact at all down in there. You can see right down in there, no contact on any of them. So if we simulate turning the key, you turn it right here, one position just like that, and you can see that's the first accessory position. It's gonna pull down that middle finger right there. Then it's gonna make contact with that first finger right there up top. So if we go to the second accessory position, just like that right there, that's when you turn the key and the whole dash lights up. It goes beep, 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 beep. Right before you crank it, you can see it pulls down both of these fingers right here, but that one's still up because that's the starting finger right there. So it makes contact on both of these in the second accessory position. And then when we spin the little cog wheel like that, that's the starting position right there. You can see it lifts up the accessory finger, and then it locks down that one on the far right there. That's the starter one. Cranks it, let go of the key, lifts it up, stops spinning the starter motor.
So the main starter finger, I'm calling them fingers, the little copper strips, is the easiest to test. Then you know that accessory position 1 and 2, turn the key again, then the dash is supposed to light up. If it doesn't, then you're gonna get in there, check the pinouts, use a multimeter, see if you have continuity. If you don't, just swap it out.
So you can figure out which one's causing you all the problems. You can just probe it like that, then come over here with the other end of the multimeter probe and touch it on one of the contacts down in there. You can look up a pinout if you need to, but you can touch it on the contacts in there. You can listen for the beep on the multimeter. When you turn the cog wheel, you can figure out, oh, yep, that finger's bad. We can get in there, get it cleaned up. We don't have to swap the whole thing out. Now these little teeth can break too, get worn out. If they do, you'll see it immediately and you know. And when you replace it, it has to be indexed properly. So to engage, you know. If it's like that, when you stick it back in there, take the old one out, and it's not matched up to the old one, when you put it in there, it won't turn all the way. So when you replace it, you know, if you just get a new one, this one's bad, you got to make sure you watch that cog wheel, make sure it's matched up to the old one. So when you stab it up in there, stick it up in there, it'll work right, you know, it'll turn all the way over, and then you can get it started.
All right, so I recommend the AC Delco part. You know, it just depends on what you can find, but the AC Delco part seems to work the best.
All right, so here's the part number right here for AC Delco. This is off of an 06, the red truck. So here it is right here. They're all the same, you know. It's just a cog wheel. Like I said, you got to index it properly or else it won't work. So, you know, if it's too far past like that, it won't start up properly. But it's just a switch, basically a big old mechanical switch. And, you know, you turn it right here. It's kind of like a relay, you know. You turn this, and then it allows those big contacts in there to let all that current pass, get the truck started. So, you know, you can grease them, clean them up, test them. You don't always have to get a new one. If you're in a pinch, obviously, it's best to get you a new one.
Now, you know, on these trucks, you can also have a VATS problem. What happens is you try to turn the key, doesn't start. You get that security light on the dash, just like this right here. This doesn't appear to be that problem, although it can be a major problem for these GMT800 trucks.
You can swap this barrel out easy. You can swap that out all day long, doesn't matter. And then you can swap the switch out down in here all day long, doesn't matter. You know, it's got that resistor and the wiring harness here. It causes all the problems with the VATS. So this doesn't appear to be that problem, because we would see VATS security light on the dash just like this right here. It's not doing that. We got something where we're not getting continuity down to the starter. All right, so that was the 06 Cat Eye. So let's take a look at the 2002 Avalanche. They're the same, but I want to show y'all some tips here real quick. So pretty much the same setup in here. You see that security light's flashing with the key off. That's typical, that's normal. They all do that, you know, when they're just sitting there like that. You know, in the off position before you crank it, that light's always flashing. But if we go down in here, it's got this plastic on here just like the 06, and this stuff is a pain to get off. So that switch is up under here too. When you take this plastic off, normally what I do is I come up here and I tilt the wheel all the way up like that, you know, with the battery disconnected. And if you pull this out, oh man, it's a pain to do, but you pull it out just like that right there. And then you can get in here and pop the plastic off. Now you want to be careful not to break it, because it has clips right here and right here. And it's a good idea to replace this tow haul boot too. This shifter boot, while you're in there, you know, get that plastic off, get your new boot on there. So to pop the plastic off, you know, you pull down here, and then you got to stick your finger in here, pull the wheel back down. So with the wheel back down like that, you get in there and you can pull up on this. There's tabs right here. And the hardest part of putting it back on is you got to slip it back in there and then press it down. So that's the 02, exactly the same switch as the 06. Got the little cog wheel, everything's the same. So here is the piece of plastic right here. Here's the little tabs on here. These are the ones that always break. Right there, you can see, yep, that one's broken off right there in the center of the screen. But they always break, and when you put it back together, the hardest part of getting it back together is getting these to line up. So if you can get those lined up, you can get it to pop back on there, no problem.
So they really are the same between the models, you know, 06, 02, they're the same, same switch. Get in there, pull the old one out, put the new one in, if you need a new one.
All right, we got the 06 back together now. We got that new switch in there. We got all that plastic popped back together. It's not broken. You can see right here, they always break. Well, that little tab's broken, but we got it back together as best we could. So let's see if this thing will start now. All right, now we went through everything. Let's see if it starts up. There we go. Let's crank it. Yes, sir. Right away. Oh yeah, it's running good now. No problems. It's running smooth. Started right up. This is fixed. But we got it swapped out, we got it fixed up on the 06 right here. Shouldn't have any problems starting it. Good to go.
Check you out on the next video. Drop me a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more Chevy truck tip videos in the future. Later.